A pleasant day to all. So, are you familiar with local governments? And how about local autonomy? So, what we'll expect to learn is the definition of local autonomy, its functions, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of this local autonomy. So, for today, I will discuss some topics regarding to the local autonomy in the Philippines. So what is local autonomy? So local autonomy is the ability of local governments to have an independent impact on the well-being of their citizens. So independent impact meaning an impact that is not depending to something or free from outside control. It also considers that local autonomy is a potential of local government constrained by a central set of laws and political factors as well as the socio-economic conditions. So autonomy comes from Greek word autonomia, which means self, and nomos, which means law. So when combined, it means live under one's law. So local autonomy is a highly valued feature of good governance. It's because many countries strengthen the autonomy of local government. That shows the importance given to decentralization and the transfer of far-reaching competencies to the lowest units. So local autonomy is also a significant move to decentralize governance was embarked in 1991 with the enactment of Local Government Code that radically transformed the nature of central government relations with massive devolution of powers to the local government units or LGUS. So, Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code of 1991, is a bold move to give life and meaning to decentralization and local autonomy enshrined in the Philippine Constitution. So, when the Philippines was granted the political independence by the United States in 1946, so the first Local Autonomy Act was enacted. So next, the local autonomy law. So it was passed by the House of Representatives and the House of Peers on March 28, 1947 and promulgated as Law Number 67 on 1947 on April 17. So it is an act of devolution that established most of Japan's contemporary local government structures and administrative division, including preferences, municipalities, and other entities. So the law empowers the local government to determine matters relating to its organization and operation. So the law promotes democratic and efficient administrative system and guarantees sound development of local government. The Constitution limits the creation of autonomous region to Muslim Mindanao and the Cordilleras, but only one autonomous region exists, the Bangsamoro, which replaced the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao or ARMM. So under Public Act number 6734, Article 1, Section 2, it is the purpose of Organic Act to establish the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. So it is to provide its basic structure and government within the framework of the Constitution and national sovereignty and territorial integrity of Republic of the Philippines, and also to ensure the peace and equality before the law of all people in the autonomous region. So next, local autonomy provides a local public administration authorities sufficient freedom of action in managing local public affairs, at the same time pleasing the central authorities of the problems closely related to local communities. So, leaving the task of solving them to local authorities. The principle of local autonomy allows conservative councillors as well as the official to argue that they are defending a constitutional principle rather than attacking a specific set of government policies. So the characteristics of local government autonomy include, among other things, the ability to make its own laws, rule and regulations, formulate, execute, and evaluate its own plans, and the right to recruit, promote, develop, and discipline its own staff, which will be further expounded in subsequent section. So that's why independent ang impact ni local autonomy on the well-being of their citizens, kaya man it can manage and act it by its own. So it included specific provisions guaranteeing autonomy to local governments. So the Local Government Code, also known as the Local Autonomic Act, was enacted in 1991. So areas of governance featured basic services devolved to local government units, responsibility for the delivery of various aspects of basic services. Pimentel, acknowledged as Father of the Local Autonomy and principal author of the code, said the new edition was published in response to requests that the book be republished with updated Supreme Court decisions on matters of local governance. Administrative decentralization and political decentralization. So administrative decentralization is a deconcentration or decentralization, while the political decentralization is the devolution of powers. So administrative decentralization aims to transfer functions from national to regional, while political decentralization transfer powers from central to local. So administrative decentralization covers administrative or the administration, while political decentralization covers power, responsibility, and resources. Administrative decentralization is under the Local Government Code of Section 528, while the political decentralization is under the Local Government Code of Section 17. Local government autonomy or the self-rule empowers the local government community to be self-reliant. It enables them to take advantage of their strengths and address their weaknesses. So since the decision makers are locals, there is also a greater probability that the locally formulated government programs will cater for the actual needs of the local community. Moreover, since the decision makers are based locally, there is also greater opportunity for the accountability vis-a-vis the local community. So to ensure that the local governments have the capacity to be autonomous, each local government unit is empowered to create its own sources of revenues and to levy taxes, fees, and charges. So they are also entitled to an equitable share in the proceeds of the utilization and the development of the national wealth. The local government units that enjoy autonomy are the provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays. So the provinces comprise of the cities and municipalities, while the latter comprise of barangays. So the acts of the local government units affect the ordinary citizens more directly than those of the national government. So Philippines is divided into units of different sizes known as political subdivisions. So these provinces, municipalities, cities, and barangays, so these political subdivisions enjoy autonomy, especially in local affairs. But they are also under the general supervision of the Chief Executive through the Secretary of Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG. In the context of a nation-state comprised of both a national government and several local government units, so local government autonomy may give rise to certain disadvantages. So these are conflicting regulations, overlapping regulations, excessive regulations, and excessive taxation.